And also, Mike, we promised on Friday, looking at a team that Sipho Mbule is playing. Have you managed to speak to Stan Matthews and find out what happened?
I have engaged with Stan Matthews. It's not a healthy issue. It's not a healthy issue for SuperSport United. It's also not a healthy issue for Sipho Mbule. So, I'm hoping that we can come to some form of resolution, find a solution for Sipho Mbule for the new season. It's clear that, that the relationship between the club and the player has deteriorated to a point where I honestly don't believe it can be reconciled. And I'm not blaming SuperSport for it. Sipho Mbule has had his problems off the field. I just think that had I been in SuperSport United's shoes, I would have really looked at doing a deal in the January transfer window. It was Sipho's desire to move on. And I think that had that happened, we might have avoided all of this. All I can tell you is that unless something strange happens, Sipho Mbule will be at a new football club in the new season, and his career, we are going to make sure that we work incredibly hard with the young man off the field to resolve his off-the-field issues so that he realizes his full potential.
Have you managed maybe to speak to the player, Sipho Mbule?
We have. And we'll obviously discuss all of this with SuperSport United, even if we've got to do that behind the scenes. We want Sipho to start the pre-season with a new lease of life. And at his age, he still has a great future ahead of him. He's got to make the right decisions. We will do everything in our power to assist him in those decisions.
Yeah.
And I'm confident. I'm going to say this again to Simto, and I think you know that I won't say these words lightly.
Yeah.
I'm extremely confident that we'll come to resolution with SuperSport United, and that Sipho Mbule will have a bright future in football.
So what you can confirm now is that come the next season, he will be playing in a new team.
Unless something changes drastically, which I can't see happening, I honestly do believe that Sipho will be playing for a new team in the Premier Soccer League.
All this prompted you guys to make sure that you finalize that deal as early as possible.
We have to finalize the deal as early as possible, and I'll tell you why. Because don't forget, SuperSport United have an option to exercise.
Yeah.
They have the option to exercise for a further period of time, and they've got to exercise that option by the end of May.
Yeah.
I have little doubt in my mind that either that will happen or some deal will happen for him to move away from the club. But we have to do it sooner than later, and the reason I'm saying that is because we're going to have to work extremely hard with Sipho to ensure that come pre-season he's in really good physical and mental shape, so that he has every single chance of reaching the potential we truly believe he has. We believe he has the X factor. I've seen the X factor in this country a few times. I've seen it in OJ Mabizela. I've seen it in Jabu Pule. I've seen it in Junior Kanya. I've seen it in Naughty Boy Mokoena. And you can imagine there is a common thread in the four players that I've just mentioned now. Fantastic, unbelievable talent who had real problems off the field. If he's given an opportunity in the right environment, and I'm not saying SuperSport isn't the right environment.
Yeah.
I'm saying that there's obviously a breakdown between the football club and the footballer. Otherwise, things like this don't happen. But I have little doubt in my mind that Sipho Mbule, given the right set of circumstances, is going to prove me right. There's little doubt in my mind.
Maybe the last question will be,
yes,
there's been two teams that everyone thinks will go to there after his signature. Are there any other interest?
No.
It's only still only two teams.
I can categorically state that nothing has changed in terms of the teams that have shown an interest in Sipho.
which one is based in Joburg and one in Pretoria?
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to answer that question. But I can tell you, Simto,
Yes.
that the onus will be upon the teams, not the player, the teams to come to an arrangement with SuperSport United. And if that happens, whichever team comes to an agreement with SuperSport United, we will work tirelessly to try and conclude a deal for the player.
Right.
And we want to do it sooner than later, with the blessing, obviously, of SuperSport United.
Obviously. And Mike, if I understand correctly, is Sipho Mbule on his last year on his contract with the SuperSport, or there's...
Yes, he's on his last year, but SuperSport have an option
to renew?
at the end of May.
Yes.
They have an option to extend his contract.
All right. He's really concerned, saying, Uguti, the other team that is after Sipho Mbule's signature likes the free agent players. If you look at the offers that those teams have put on the table, if you look at the other team, which is Kaizer Chiefs, and the other one is Mamelodi Sundowns, would you say they're on the same scale, or?
Difficult for me to say, because at the end of it all, SuperSport have got to set their transfer fee price, and they've got to negotiate with whoever's interested. And whoever is interested is going to have to negotiate directly with the club. We will not get involved in the club-to-club negotiation.
All right.
Once we've been given the green light by SuperSport, we'll then negotiate with the successful club in terms of Sipho Mbule's personal terms and conditions.
I know, Guti, you're trying by all means to resolve this issue as we speak now. That's why you're not here. But if you look at Sipho, what is he bringing? Let's just say, not specifically in Sundowns or Kaizer Chiefs or Royal AM or Wamazulu. If you can just elaborate, Guti, the qualities that Sipho Mbule will bring to these teams.
Sipho Mbule brings something special and unique to the game. He's unpredictable. He has incredible skill. He has the ability in the flash of a moment to move forward and set up a killer pass. He can make those late runs into the box and find space for himself. He's just one of those players that he has a good physique. He's got great technique. He understands the game, so he can fit into the tactical understanding of the game. But he has what a large number of players don't have. And I call it an X factor because I can't put my finger on it. It's the ability to do the unpredictable and create havoc. And I'm not comparing him, but it's the X factor that Neymar has. It's the X factor that Ronaldo has. It's the X factor that Mbappe has. It's the X factor that Messi has. It's just that extra ingredient that he has that you're born with. You can't coach.